Help me. Help me.
Hello?
We all float down here.
Nope. Little interesting fact about me is I suffer from something called chorophobia. According to dictionary.com, chorophobia is an abnormal fear of clowns. I really don't think that that's abnormal because clowns are absolutely terrifying. A long time ago, I think it was my first visit to Six Flags Great Adventure, a clown approached me and my mother, was just walking towards me, and I ran behind her, scared, frightened, crying, and that's when my parents realized, he's afraid of clowns. Okay, this is something good to know. Because in my room as a child, I had these dolls that they got me, and they didn't know, but I had all these clown dolls and stuff. Yeah, we had to get rid of those. I would wake up in the middle of the night having some type of night terror, screaming at the top of my lungs that a clown was either eating me or killing me, dicing me up, or putting me in like a meat grinder. It was terrible. The existence of clowns literally ruined my sleeping patterns throughout my entire childhood. I had two older sisters growing up, and one of them in particular liked to watch this movie called Killer Clowns from Outer Space, which I wanted nothing to do with. If that movie was ever on in the living room and I was kind of like walking around the house, I would run into my room because I'd hear the clowns laughing or something. I wanted nothing to do with it. And around that same time, I had seen Poltergeist, where the son's name is Robbie, which is my name, made it even more relatable to me. And there's a clown sitting on a chair, and he kind of turns around and looks back, and the clown is not on the chair anymore, and he looks under his bed, and it pulls him under the bed, and it's like strangling him. So in the late 80s and early 90s, for some reason, all of these really scary clown movies started coming out. Perfect. And all of these scary clown movies kind of led up to what I consider, and what I think many people will consider, one of the scariest clown movies ever made. And that is, of course, Stephen King's It. So thank you for whoever decided to make this movie, because you ruined a lot of people's lives. Now, I know that I am not alone when I say that the very sight of Tim Curry as Pennywise paralyzes me. Now, don't get me wrong, I love Tim Curry. I love Rocky Horror Picture Show. I love Home Alone 2. I love Muppet Treasure Island. I love Congo. Stop eating my sesame cake! Stop eating my sesame cake! But sometimes I actually have to rely on the fact that I know that it's Tim Curry playing Pennywise just to make myself feel better so that I can even watch the movie. Whenever he's on screen, I'm like, oh man, that's Tim Curry, man. That's Frankenfurter, man. That's not scary. That's all it is. It's just Tim Curry in makeup. No big deal. Not scary at all. And something worth mentioning is Stephen King's It was made for television. It doesn't rely on loud noises making you jump. It's not extremely gory and has a lot of blood and guts. The thing that made it absolutely terrifying is what Tim Curry brought to the character. He is the reason why that original release even worked. And chances are, if you had put any other actor in the clown makeup with the wig and the clown costume and made them deliver the same lines, it's very possible that it would have been really bad. I mean, it could have been really hokey, it might not have worked at all, it might have been scrapped, we don't even know. But Tim Curry has a way to make all of those lines sound really threatening and really menacing, and his facial expressions, and when he has the fangs in, he just looks scary. Now, that's not to say that there weren't other really talented actors that contributed to the success of this film. Now, everything that I'm talking about and everything that I just said is all leading up to this one thing. If the original version of Stephen King's It wasn't scary enough, we are now getting an updated one. Actor Bill Skarsgård has been cast to play Pennywise the Dancing Clown and ruin our lives once again. While looking through the cast, I did notice that Finn Wolfhard, who plays Mike in Stranger Things, is gonna be playing Richie Tozier, who's originally played by Seth Green. I loved him in Stranger Things, and I think he's gonna do a great job as Richie Tozier. If you do follow him on Vine, he has a bunch of little comedy skits that I think he's actually filming on set of It. So that's perfect for the character he's playing, Richie Tozier, who's supposed to be the funny guy. And that's kind of funny to think about. I mean, Seth Green was Richie Tozier in the original Stephen King's It. I mean, in this day and age, we think of him as the creator of Robot Chicken. He's Chris from Family Guy. He's a voice actor. He's in a ton of stuff. But he was also in this film from when I was a child and kind of haunted me for a really long time. Thanks, Seth. Now, I've done a little research. When I was in around 7th grade, since I was so scared of It, I made myself watch it over and over again. There was one summer where I watched it literally, I think, probably 100 times. I wanted to get myself very used to the image of Tim Curry as Pennywise so that I wasn't scared of it anymore. And in a lot of ways, it helped because I knew what was coming. but I also decided to read the book. I wanted to actually read the original story. And I remember I had a teacher who on one day of the week, we would have an entire period to just read whatever we wanted, and I decided to read that. Now, for anyone who's read Stephen King's It, you know that this book is not really appropriate for children. And there were a lot of things that I read that I didn't really know what they meant. I know what some of it meant. But not to give too much away or to spoil anything, but let's just say there's a lot of adult content in it. And since I didn't really understand a lot of it at that age, I decided to reread it only maybe a few years ago. And let me tell you, I get it now. But like any book or novel that's been made into a movie, especially a made-for-TV movie, there's a lot of plot, there's a lot of characters, there's a lot of explanation that never really made it into the film. But looking at the new cast alone, it seems like this film itself is going to be more accurate to the original storyline. Some of the characters that are going to be in this are very interesting characters, and I can't wait to see what they do with them. One of them in particular is Patrick. If you've ever read the book, you know what I mean. Patrick is a psychopath. And this time around, it seems like they're casting actors and actresses to actually look like the age that they're supposed to be portraying. I mean, while watching the movie, I used to have to say to myself, I don't live in their town, so I don't have to worry about it, right? You know, I don't live in Derry. I'm not from there. He's not gonna come after me. I know it's not real and everything, but like, I mean, if it was, I don't live there, so, oh man. I'm so glad I don't live in Derry. And now when I actually think about it, he had some pretty easy prey. One of the scariest scenes in both movies is the shower scene where Eddie Kazbrak is at school and he's forced to take a shower. He doesn't really want to after gym class, but the coach makes him do it anyway, and he's standing in the shower, and then all the showers turn their cold water off and turn hot water on, and he starts getting burned. I mean, first of all, if that started happening to me, I would have just been like, well, it looks like we're having some type of plumbing problem. Maybe I should leave. But he doesn't do that. He sticks around because, you know, the water's blocking him from leaving, so he's like, oh no, what am I gonna do? And then he starts hearing Pennywise talking to him through the drain pipe. If I heard a voice specifically addressing me through a drain pipe, I think my reaction would be something like, oh hell no. But after that happens, he does run through the hot water, and then he just sits there and watches to see what happens. And then after that, you see that terrible claymation effect where Pennywise opens up the drain and he's able to stick his head out. At that point, I would have just been like, okay, I think I'm gonna go get dressed now. And I'm sorry, Georgie, you look like a really nice kid, and you probably would have grown up to be a really great adult, but if you see a clown in the sewer, you just leave. You could have gone home on your merry way in your little rain slicker and hung out with your brother and, you know, built more boats or done something more fun than getting your arm ripped off by a clown in the sewer that you shouldn't have been talking to in the first place. Now, we talked a little bit about Tim Curry and how amazing his performance was and how great he was as Pennywise and how his acting capability is what really brought the character to life and made it scary. When this remake comes out, I mean, Bill Skarsgård has some really big shoes to fill. And that's not just because they're clown shoes. I think I would be disappointed if this new version of the movie relied on gore or relied on making the audience jump by, you know, hitting you with a loud noise or having people jump onto screen, because that's not really why the original was scary. It would be a shame, and I think it wouldn't do justice to the original. So I really hope that Bill lives up to the legacy that is Pennywise and is able to haunt an entirely new generation. But if they are going to go in the direction of conventional modern-day horror movies, then I think they just shouldn't make it at all. And someone who shares that point of view is Annette O'Toole. Annette O'Toole is the actress that played the adult version of Beverly Marsh. According to Seacrest Things, she stated, I don't think they need to remake anything that was good the first time. Tim is the main reason this movie works. So who out there is brave enough to go see this movie? I mean, I'm definitely gonna go, but I'm probably gonna go in a big group because I don't want to go by myself. Do you think it's a good idea? Do you think it's a bad idea? Would you want it to follow the formula of a conventional modern-day horror movie, or would you like it to be more based on the performance? Do you not want to see the movie at all because you're deathly afraid of clowns? I wouldn't blame you. So if you'd like to stay up to date and find out what I think about the movie after it comes out, please subscribe to the channel. You could also follow me on Instagram and Twitter now at Geek Level Asian. And guys, I hope you don't have trouble sleeping tonight. I know I put a lot of scary clown images into this video, but good luck with that. See you next time.